Local, trusted. This is First News at 4 on KBTX News 3.
Mortgage rates dropped for the second week in a row with the largest decline since 2008. But that didn't revive demand from homeowners and potential buyers. Well, here to tell us a little bit more is Senior Mortgage Loan Officer GP Theriot. GP, thanks so much for joining us on the show today.
Great. Thanks for having me.
I think the first thing that we want to talk about is why in the last couple of weeks have we seen mortgage rates dropping? I mean, what causes something like this to happen?
Yeah, it can be a lot of things, many factors, but based off what reports are coming out daily, what I will say is, rates, we did have a decrease in rates in the past 2 weeks, but it's crazy with inflation. What fear is putting in people? Do they put their money in, pull their money out? So that can play a big factor with the feds on what they're doing. So we'll see. Actually, we're starting to see rates kind of creep back up. It was nice to be under the 6%, but I tell my clients it's a day-to-day thing on where rates could be. But the encouraging part is I think people are starting to realize, it's still a great time to buy.
Well, I want to talk to you a little bit more about that because I do have a question in here that I plan on asking you about how the current culture is, how it looks for people who want to buy a home or maybe sell their home right now. I mean, what does the current climate of the housing market look like right now?
Yeah, I think right now the big word is fear and unknown. I think people just don't know what to do. And that's why it's critical to talk with a real estate professional or a mortgage professional, someone like myself here at Theriot Mortgage Team, so we can educate you and truly show you why it's a good time to buy or why is it a good time to sell, because history's shown real estate is still the best way to continue to build wealth.
Well, GP, we always ask experts like you to look into your crystal ball and try to predict the future for us. So let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, as the United States continues to battle inflation and prices and rates start to continue to fluctuate, what do you think the housing market looks like in, say, 6 months or maybe a year from now?
I think it's still going to be great. And the reason why I say that is history has shown. I love to give this stat. If you look back in 2015, if you bought a home for $300,000, and every year beyond that, up to 2021, it always appreciated. So you were always continuing to increase value. So from 2015 to 2021, from a $300,000 purchase, your home now in 2021 is worth $523,000. So that right there should tell you, just with the history and the stats, that it's always going to be a good time to buy. And I want to highlight too, with the rates, even if the rates continue to go up, or if they come back down, look, we were spoiled for the past 2 years. If you put it in perspective, rates were at an all-time low 2 years ago. But if you look at the bigger picture, 20 years, rates are still outstanding. If they're in that mid-6 or less, we're doing great, and it's still a great time to buy a home and get in the game.
Great advice. Senior Mortgage Loan Officer GP Theriot. GP, thank you again so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you so much for having us.